Gandang araw po sa lahat. Thank you for your interest on virtualclassroom.ph. I am Stanley Dumanig, the Chief Operations Officer of IdeaHub, IT Solutions Provider, the one who developed this platform. And with me today is our product specialist, Brylle Roquero. Hello, Brylle.
Hello, Sir Stan. Good morning and good morning po sa inyong lahat. And again, we thank you so much for giving us time to discuss to you virtualclassroom.ph. My name is Brylle and I am the product specialist of IdeaHub IT Solutions for virtualclassroom.ph.
All right. Thank you, Brylle. Once again, thank you for your time in joining this webinar. And we'll introduce to you the innovations that we're working on with virtualclassroom.ph. This is a project in order to modernize our country's education landscape. And we'll address some of the frequently asked questions to us after the presentation. It's a very short presentation. And of course, we would really dedicate this project to all the teachers in the entire country, entire Philippines, because of their undying devotions to teach and train the students of their country. And I am one of the stories of countless successful students who are the beneficiaries of their hard work. We wanted to give back to them and that's why we are trying to help in the academic industry in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic situation. So just to give you a background of who we are, so let me just go to our slide. So virtualclassroom.ph. And are you ready to be part of the new education landscape? As I said earlier, just to give you a background of who we are IdeaHub, IT Solutions Provider. And we are an IT Solutions Provider founded in 1998 in Davao City by a talented group of entrepreneurs dedicated to bring high impact yet cost effective IT solutions to startups and enterprises in the Philippines, United States, the United Kingdom, and in Southeast Asia regions. Our company had been innovating for the past 22 years, bringing the most needed technology to our partners. Our main operation center is located here at Davao City, and we also have a satellite office at Westchester, Illinois, in the US. To give you a little glimpse of our company operations, I am thrilled to show to you our company teaser video. All right. To give a fuller picture of the things that we work with, I am proud to present some of the companies that have partnered with us throughout the years. And here's some of the example, the Phoenix group of companies, the Alsons, Propnex from Singapore, and there's so many in the US, even our own city government of Davao. So there's just some of out of many companies that have partnered with us throughout the years. And we have worked with various organizations, both from the private and public sector, bringing tremendous amounts of technology and innovations that have made their organization more productive and adapted to modern times. Of course, as we're working externally with many of these companies, we also work with many projects at the same time. In fact, I would ask Brylle, who was working with us for quite some time, So what can you say working with IdeaHub, Brian?
So, working with IdeaHub personally has been a mixture of thrill and excitement at the same time. So, we are working simultaneously with different projects whose only aim is to help people be more technologically advanced. And Sir Stan, why don't you start to enumerate and discuss some of the projects that we are working right now?
All right. So here are some of the companies uh, that IdeaHub group of companies that basically covers web and mobile development, digital internet marketing, SEO, search engine optimization. We have cloud staffing services, delivery mobile app. We have service to customer app, fintech payment gateway. Basically, we're just covering lots of industries here, from medical, education, tourism, government, and the digital marketing space. So we have covered, I think, it's humbly to say, full spectrum here of digital services. Now, one of the most affected sectors in this global pandemic is the academic field. And the classes had to be suspended, and all were forced to adapt to a new type of learning. We all believe that education is one of the most important pillars of our society, and despite all the challenges, we had to continue learning and continue educating our children. This is very uh, true, no? To especially to me, I have four kids in this house. Um, I have two college, two in college, two in elementary. I have relatives who are basically educators, teachers, and this is really one of the biggest hit of this COVID pandemic. How could we continue to teach? There's going to be remote learning. How could we address that? And that's where we're part of this in creating a solution to this one. So, excuse me, when we started creating VCR or the virtual classroom, we made sure to take into consideration the local education landscape, taking into account all the problems the teachers and education professionals are facing in the abrupt shift to online education. To better understand how VCR or the virtual classroom, the PH, it's VCR for short, to better understand how VCR is better, we need to look into some of the most common alternatives. So, Brylle, can you discuss? We see several here. We have Google Meet, we have Moodle, Saka Zoom, Google Classroom. So what set us apart?
Yes, thank you, Sir Stan. So, in our shift to online education, some of the educational institutions in the country have started to use some of these platforms. So, it is either a combination of both, or I mean a combination of multiple platforms. Some are using Google Classroom and Zoom at the same time, while some also uses Google Classroom and Meet, while others use Moodle or Sakai. So these platforms are good in their own way. However, they lack the very thing that sets a VCR apart, which is the fact that Virtual Classroom or VCR is made specifically for the Philippines education system, making it way more easy to use and more advanced.
Yeah, I thank you for that, Brylle. I'm I was the last quarter of the last school year. My kids actually were just a uh, mix of Facebook Messenger and Zoom, and it's really a bit of mess, and that we're trying to create a solution here that would address that. So, I'd like to discuss, Brylle. Can you just go over what really set us apart? I know there's so many platforms, and as I said, they're in a good way. It has helped. It has addressed some of the problems, but not really. It's not a whole solution. So, can you discuss what really set us apart?
Okay. So, as I have mentioned, virtual classroom was specifically made for the education landscape of our country. So all those platforms that I have enumerated earlier were designed to address the online education as a whole, but they were not specifically tailor-made for the Philippines. However, that is what sets virtualclassroom.ph apart from them. Okay, so to highlight some of the features of virtualclassroom.ph, I'll be discussing in the next few slides some of the features that be, that that we want to highlight with VCR. So first, we have a feature-rich interface. So we use the latest development technology to give easy usability. So in the next few slides, we'll be showing with you the user interface so that you will see how good and how easy it is to use a VCR. Next, we have also taken into consideration data security. As we all know, education records are very confidential, and that has to be taken care of with the highest level of security that is available right now. So, in order to address that, we have complied with the latest encryption technology to ensure privacy and security of all the data that is being gathered and being used inside a virtualclassroom.ph. And also, all the education platforms, online education platforms that we have discussed so far, the right now the best in the market for us, based on our evaluation, is Zoom. So Zoom has a very good um, video conferencing technology. They use almost very low latency in terms of video conferencing. So that's why we have chosen Zoom because of its fast and reliable connection, and also for its rich features.
Yeah, let me just add on that one, Bryle. Before the pandemic, they are already a mature platform, and universities in the U.S. and many parts in the world, they've been they have been really developing it with education in mind. And in fact, when the COVID-19 pandemic uh, um, uh, was uh, was hit the world, basically what happened, the other platforms are trying to catch up with Zoom because they're already a mature product. That's why we're integrating Zoom into our system. It'd be easy for our users who already know Zoom, and it'd be much easier if they're going to see how we integrate Zoom into our platform. So back to you, Brian.
Yes, that's correct, Sir Stan. And also some of the features, which is detailed in the next slide, is the automated class scheduling. So teachers can set up their classes once, and the system will take care of the rest. So in other platforms, you have to log in on a daily basis to multiple platforms. For example, you will log into Google Classroom, and you have to log into Zoom as well in order to initiate a single class. In virtualclassroom.ph, we have removed that. So you only have to remember one username and one password if you are a teacher or you are a student. And then after that, you can see all the classes that you have that is scheduled for you throughout the day. And also, yes, sir, Stan.
Yeah, and practically, that like to add that one because that is a very exciting feature, is that the teacher they would just log in and just see all the class schedules they have, and just hit start the class, and they'll open up with the window that we have, the VCR window, and the students will be there. The students will be reminded of their class as well, and the students also they'll be just log in once. Let's say they come in. Let's say their class starts at 8 a.m. and then 5 p.m. They only have to log in once during 8 a.m. and their next class, they'll be moved automatically to the next class based on their schedule that was set on the system. And it is a teachers who basically also the teachers could set their classes and the time of their classes and enroll students in that, both teachers and even the admin. So it's really a intuitive system because, and I know this because I've experienced it with my kids. You know, you'll be logging into several platforms, and sometimes you ask for a link, or you'll ask where is it, saan ba ito, saan ako mag-link, saan dito, saan ako sasali, where will I join. But this platform, you just have to log in once in the morning, and they'll just move you automatically to all your classes during in the day. So back to you, Brian.
Yes, so uh, I think we have mentioned earlier that when we created and when we developed virtualclassroom.ph, what we really had in mind was to remove the steep learning curve of the platforms that are present in the market right now. That's why if you can, we will show you later all the user interface and you will see how easy it is to use virtualclassroom.ph. And also, another highlight of Virtual Classroom is its attendance tracking feature. So teachers will know in a glance if who are late or who are absent from their classes. So we have integrated this into VCR so that in a single glance, the teacher will know if a student did not report it to class or if they reported late. So that feature is one of the features that is not present in most of the competition.
Yeah, let me also add that while the good thing, again, we're making the life of our teachers easy by not, the traditional life, and I've been to that, just, you check their attendance manually, or, you look at the screen and who is there, but our system automatically, check the attendance, give a report to the teachers who were present, who were late, who were absent during this class. So all are automated and give them the reports.
Yes. And speaking of reports, one of the features also that is very good and highlighted in VCR that we have specifically included since we keep on mentioning that this platform is made specifically for the Philippines. That's why we have tailor fitted the system to comply with Department of Education's report requirements. So this is designed with the local academic landscape in mind, and from VCR you can directly print or generate the reports that you need for submission to your division office or your school office or any other kind of reports that is needed by the Department of Education. So this is an ongoing project, and uh, we here at virtualclassroom.ph, we want to integrate as much reports as possible that we can generate directly from VCR so that teachers will no longer have to make reports manually on other platforms or to do the reports on spreadsheets, for example.
Yeah, that's I think, a very welcome feature for teachers that make their life easy in the midst of this pandemic. Okay, I think this is an exciting part for them because they wanted to see how our virtual classroom would look like. So we're going to show a features preview. Okay, so let us start. So this is a teacher login page. As I said, there's going to be a student login page. But on this, the teachers will just have to log in once. They'll be asked, uh, of course, their access info. And once they log in, so just next slide. They're going to see this window. Of course, your logo of the school would be on the top left, and then you'll have their subjects, so days classes, upcoming classes, past classes, and then the teachers will just have to click on start so they could see, or he or she could start the class. And then basically it's the interface as a teacher. He's going or she's going to see the students, and she could see. Brylle, can you discuss the colors of that? That's the legend. In fact,
Yes.
you mentioned it earlier. So the green would be the ones who are present. The yellow would be late. So careful those who are late because you'll be marked yellow. Okay, and those who are absent would be marked red. There will be certain algorithms for that, like how much, I mean, what time or how many minutes after the start of the class will you mark the students absent. So, all right, and here are the chat window. Students could uh, could chat the teachers if they needed something. There's an added feature that. And the subject materials, the teacher could add subjects, uh, subject materials, basically, PDF, Word documents, PowerPoint, so they could easily share it to the class. Then we have, of course, the online class management. They could schedule class. They could, if let's say you could, let's say your class would be every day, 8 to 9, and then at the given time, let's say on the next 2 weeks you will not be conducting class because you have some assignments to give to the students. So that this is a good time you're going to, this is a good place, this is a place where you would add those schedule to manage your classes. And as mentioned by Brian, it's an easy attendance tracking. And I think I also just mention it again. The format that we're using here would be the format that would be required by the DepEd, so that you're not, you'll not be doing same work again. So to comply with the format of the government. So the output of this, while you see a visual presentation of those who are present, late, and absent, you'll have it also in a format where the DepEd requires. And then see the attendance summary, see there by months. And I think this really reflects, of course, it's not the actual requirement of DepEd. It's just we're just trying to create a very beautiful look. But basically, this is representative of what the DepEd would require. So you'll see like student presence, how many were tardy, how many were absent, and you'll see a graphic illustration representation to that. And then as you can see, the DepEd forms integration. So we have that we have mentioned to you to generate the forms that would really comply to the government's regulations. All right. And then the head teacher, by the way, not just Brylle. This is, I think, also a wonderful feature to our platform because it's not just the teacher as login. The head teacher, can you discuss what the head teacher can do in our
Okay. Sure, Sir Stan. All right. So, as Sir Stanley have mentioned, we have four modules for virtualclassroom.ph. There will be a separate account for teachers, for students, for the head teacher, and also for the admin. So, kanina pinakita na ni Sir Stanley yung the user interface for the teacher. Right
right?
now, we are on the head teacher na part. So this
Yeah.
is the login page for the head teacher. So again, you will, if you are a head teacher, you will input your email, your username, and your password on this login page. And after that, you will be directly, pag makalagin ka na sa, you will be greeted by your dashboard, which has a lot of information that you will need in a single glance. So as you can see here, you have your announcements and you also have your activities. And also, you can see the teachers who are the list of teachers in your school. So you can see their status and also you can see the list of ongoing classes. So in those lists, one of the key features of virtualclassroom.ph is it will be very easy for head teachers and for school administrators to observe classes whenever they want to. So if a class is ongoing right now, you can see that in this list under lower right corner, and then in just a single click, you can visit that particular class so that you can observe how the teachers are conducting their classes, and also for evaluation purposes. So that's the dashboard.
Yeah, let me also add on that one, Bile. So if they'll see the this one on the dashboard, once the head teacher sees that some of the teachers might be absent, they could try to be the it's like a substitute teacher at the time. They could still have that class and could be conducting the class. So
Yes.
okay, let's move on. You mentioned.
And yes, this is the part where you can manage your teachers. You can add a teacher by entering their name and also the subjects that they will be teaching. Sir Stan.
Okay, so this is a place where they could manage the teachers. They could add subjects and the teachers assigned to it. And then this again, just a wonderful presentation of the teachers. Actually, it shows a student, but basically they also have um, a graphical, you know, view of the teachers' attendance. Okay, and then you could chat with your teachers. So this again with this pandemic. In fact, while Brylle and I are doing this one, we are in separate locations because this is what we're all working from home. You might hear the noises in our house because we're working from home. um, this is the new normal, and yan, makita nyo, it's the teacher, the head teacher could chat with the teachers in one platform. No need of checking other platforms because that might be a distraction to some of the teachers. Sa lagi na lang baka the whole day na lang for Facebook Messenger. But I know there's only few of that. We are so many, and we're blessed with many wonderful teachers. But would be a way just to keep them away from distractions, so that the chat would be in our system already. So the easy attendance tracking again, and here we are. We already saw the teacher login, the head teacher login, and now we have the student login page. So like to take this, Brian?
Yes, sure, Sir Stan. Sige pa. So, I think this will be the most used part ng VCR since every day students will have to log in and sila yung pinakamaraming users ng VCR because we have millions of students right now who are shifting to online education. So, for students, we will show you in the next slides kung ano yung itsura ng inyong dashboard, how your new virtual classroom will look like. Okay, so after you log in to virtualclassroom.ph by entering your username and password, you can see here your name. So yan, we have a sample si Carla Esteban. So also the picture and the school logo also. You can view that. And here, dito sa top part, we have here announcements. So the admin, the head teacher, and the school administrators, they can post announcements so that as what we have said, we want to integrate as much as possible yung pinaka-useful na features that is needed for a school. So if you have announcements that is being broadcasted school-wide, students can view those announcements in this particular part dito sa dashboard nila. And also, the most important one is yung kanilang class schedule. So if you can see here, the student will see the subject, kung sino yung teacher, kung ano yung schedule ng kanyang class, time and the days of that particular class. And in a single click, they can join the class by clicking on the join button. So no need to ask for links. Hindi na rin po kailangan na mag-message pa to ask for username and passwords. But in virtualclassroom.ph, we have made that an easy process as much as possible in order to make the online education a fun and a easy experience for our students. And here, if you can see, we have here the Zoom class interface. So na-mention kanina ni Sir Stanley that we have integrated Zoom's API into virtualclassroom.ph. So if you can see kung ano po yung user interface na familiar niya na using Zoom, if you have used Zoom before, that is also present in virtualclassroom.ph. So you can see the students up top. So, dyan yung video feed ng students. And also, yung sa teachers, si teacher yung sa pinakamalaking part ng screen. And also, all Zoom functionalities na needed in order to have a very good online class experience is also integrated into virtualclassroom.ph. First that.
Yep. Yeah, by the way, also because this is a platform again by integrating Zoom, all the security measures, the protocol, the encryption from Zoom also are used in this one. So, um, after the during the pandemic, when the pandemic started, of course there are news, about Zoom, but they already fixed that. It's a very secure platform. It's a solid platform, and all of that are also built in our VCR platform. So next we could see in the screen are the features on the announcement feature of this in the students dashboard, so they could see the announcement from the principal or from the school admin or the headmaster or from the teacher, and you see their activity system, but basically we label it now as the bulletin board. It's a bulletin board. You would see all the announcement from the teachers, from the whole school. So then we have the lessons view, which basically your subjects. You'll see your attendance there. And then, of course, I think this will be the last dashboard, right? For as an
Yes,
admin.
yes, sir, Stan.
So
So this is for the principal admin login.
yeah, so they already saw the student login, the teachers login, the head teachers login, of course, the admin. Basically, of course, the admin for a school is a principal. We also have a headmaster, of course, directors, but they could have access. They'll have different access and could have the same dashboard. So again, they just log in to one system, one page. Once they log in, they'll see there, the teacher's present, the teacher's absent, the student's present, students absent, and this just they'll just an over um, um, a summary, an overview, or a bird's eye view of what's going on every minute, every hour in their online school. So it's either it's going through this. I know it's running out of time, but just going through all, they could still chat with the teachers. They'll have access to all those teachers, the head teachers. They could manage users, they could set department heads, and the teachers, of course, and the students. They could add students there. And it's easy to upload. Let's say, for example, you already have a database, a platform, you have an Excel sheet. You just, put that, and they all support a CSV format in a technical standpoint. So they just have to upload a CSV format. It could be thousands or hundreds, and it be uploaded in just a few seconds. So that's how easy our system is to integrate with the current system. We have school management system, of course, school year, grade level, section, subject, rooms, um, and then now you said that you're used to working around with your online learning system. We made virtual classroom.ph to work around for you. I think I don't know. It was you who made this, Brylle. This line.
Yes, sir. That's one of the. I think we have coined that phrase uh, by going back into why we really created virtualclassroom.ph. So now, uh, because yun kasing ano, the usual complaint that we hear from the education sector when we started virtualclassroom.ph was they have to work around with the features that is existing in those competitors that we have right now, online learning platforms. So what we did with virtualclassroom.ph was we made sure that from the ground up when we created VCR, it has to adapt to how education has been evolving in our country. So we made sure that we have addressed all the problems, and we have made sure that we have integrated the features that are needed in order to successfully shift our education system to a fully online platform. And that's why we made VCR.
All right. Thank you for the wrap. So, would like also to thank every one of you for joining us in this webinar. But before that, before we really end this webinar, I know. Oh, let me just go back here. Uh, there are some frequently asked questions to us, Brylle. Can you give some of us that we could address some of the questions that we have from our from the schools or principals?
Okay. So I have here the list of the most frequently asked questions that we have received from our some of the uh, people that we have discussed VCR with. So let me just pull down that list. Which particular education level is VCR designed for?
Yeah, that's a good question. So VCR, we developed the VCR for the K to 12 uh, um, uh, grade, basically K1 to grade 12 level. So we're still on development in terms of addressing the college level or the graduate studies. But this is really geared towards the K1 to K to 12 um, uh, levels, and um, and they could be, several and unique um, processes in school, but there are, of course, by our DepEd, who regulates and we set all the parameters. We have all that built in our system. So this is really geared, again, geared towards K to 12, and this would be very beneficial for them. And I think one of the uh, areas here, if they are wanted to know more and wanted to schedule with us, they could click the button on the link below this page, and they would set a schedule with us. So they would um, schedule with you, Bryla, because you're the one who's our product specialist who would be discussing the details of them and discussing the requirements on for VCR. So yeah, but I think we have a few more questions that we could answer. So go ahead.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Sir Stan. So, another question that we frequently receive is how do we manage the Zoom licenses that is being used for VCR?
Wow, good question. Now, many of the platforms right now that's being used by the school, iba ang nangyayari is that they would each of the teachers will have license, and that is what will be costly for now. Like for example, the cost would be around $15 per license. So some of the schools, let's say if they have 15 teachers, they'll be buying 15 licenses, would cost them a lot on a monthly basis. But the way we use VCR is that it really depends. It's the analogy would be like the number of classrooms in your school. Like if you only need, let's say, even if you have um, 50 teachers, but you only have 10 classrooms because there are only 10 classes that has class at the same time. You only need that many licenses. So it's like if in in your uh, physical class or physical school, you have 10 classrooms. That's only the licenses you need. 10 licenses for Zoom, because what we are catering is that the number of classes that at the same time. So if there are 10 classes that would be in on a given certain period of time, that's the number of licenses that you need. So even if you have, let's say, because some are part-time teachers, some are just teaching just one subject, or if so, it really depends on the number. And let's say, for example, there's only, at the given time, there's only five teachers who will be teaching at the same time. So you only need five licenses for that. And again, we could discuss this with the discovery call. Uh, in fact, our system is so smart. All you have to do is to just upload your schedule, the schedule of your teachers and the classes, and the system's going to detect how many licenses you need for Zoom. So that's it.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Stan. And since we have mentioned licenses, uh, why don't we discuss also, sir, if what is the pricing model or the subscription cost for virtualclassroom.ph?
Yeah, the subscription costs for our VCR is based on the um, uh, block subscription. For example, 50 students, 100 students. So there's a table rates for that, and we could discuss it with you more during a discovery call. Again, all you need to do is there's a button and there's a button, the link rather, or button on the bottom of this page below this video, and just click on that. It will take you to our scheduling page. You'll be scheduling a call with Brylle and some of the staff. Even I may, perhaps, or our CEO actually could also join those calls, and we're going to present you based on your requirements and we'll see how much requires. And we are this is our to dedicate this to the academic institution. We wanted to really help in the academic institution. We are, while we admit this is a company, it's a product, but we also understand really the situation, wanted to help and to give back to the academic institution. So just give us so book schedule a call with us, a discovery call, and we'll try to help you.
Okay. Um, and I think one last question, Sir Stan, is if the schools have existing LMS or learning management systems, can that be integrated into virtual classroom? Or if they have existing files already, can that be easily integrated or uploaded into our system?
Yeah, thank you. That's a good question. Yeah, definitely. There's if you have an existing LMS, basically we're not at the moment really replacing any existing LMS. LMS, when you say learning management system, is where you have your own like quizzes and assignments, and all the lessons are there, the files. Um, there's we are in development for future upgrades on that. We are really envisioning to have that, but as of now, it's just a way, because we are on a Zoom platform. If you have your existing files, you could easily share that to our platform. So if you have, let's say, files in Google Drive, you could open it up and just share it to the platform, to the class. So in fact, there's no special software to install. All you have to do is to log into our platform and just open up your existing files, whatever it is, and just share it to your class. So again, we will have in our future upgrades LMS, but for now it's just working along with your existing LMS. So whatever LMS you're using, it could definitely work with VCR.
Yes, thank you, Sir Stan. And also, I think it's also worth noting that virtualclassroom.ph is a web application, and I most of schools are using G Suite or Google Drive. So, and those are web-based applications as well. So that will be very easy to use together with virtual classroom.ph.
Yeah, that's a good point also made, Brian. Many have also acted to ask, and we should present this because they would say, what software do we need? What are we going to install? Actually, it's just a browser based. It's a web app, browser based. And the good thing is a browser based. You could use your phone, an iPad, a desktop, a laptop, actually any device that would has a browser. It could be a Linux, a Mac, a Windows. It could run all of those things. So as long as it's a browser, you could use our platform. So there's no special software needed on this one.
Okay.
All right, I think we're almost an hour here. We should be. I know we respect your time and thank you for joining with us. I know you have if you have more questions, if you're interested, again, there's a button on the below this video. Click on that, schedule a call with us with Brylle, and we'll listen to your requirements and we'll try to help you. Again, thank you so much, and have a great day.